Hey, you guys, welcome back to the So Lux Life Podcast. I'm super excited that you're here. We have a special guest today. We have Kash. He's the owner of Jubilee Joe's Cajun Seafood. This is a restaurant in Hoover. Hi, Kash.
Hey, how's it going?
How's it going? Going good. Thank you so
Birmingham,
much.
how we doing, baby? How we doing?
Yeah, let's get excited. So thank you so much for being willing to come on the So Lux Life podcast. We do like to talk about entrepreneurship. And when I went to your restaurant, I was so inspired when you got up and just kind of told your story and kind of told how the restaurant started. So I just kind of want to jump right into it. Can you tell the audience a little bit about yourself?
Yes, ma'am. I'm Kash Siddiqui. Nice meeting everybody. I'm born and raised in Pakistan. Moved here when I was 10 to Vestavia. Grew up in Vestavia. Went to Vestavia High. And then I ended up moving my senior year and finished off at Chelsea High School. So that's where I started as a kid. And then moved on to college, went to UAB. And then that's how this business, Jubilee Joe's, came about. Is my senior school class project, I had to create a business model from scratch to present to investors. That's just your senior level project every year. And so every 5 years, Crispin, they do a grant program by PwC, which is one of the largest consulting firms in the world. They're out of Manhattan. And they do the top 27 universities that they pick in the United States every 5 years. And they give them an opportunity to send 5 projects apiece to come out there and represent for their university and hopefully win the $250,000 grant. So in 2004, we were one of the 5 selected from UAB, got to go, and one got to win the most solid business model of the year. And of course, it was me and my group. And that's how Jubilee Joe's came about, because I don't have any experience in the restaurant business. I've never waited tables in my life. I've
So
never
it was never your desire, like, oh, I want to own a restaurant when I get older. Like,
going to a restaurant. No, I've always been an entrepreneur since I was a kid. I mean, my dad used to get mad at me when he was a physician. My dad's a physician, and he would go to the hospital at 4:30 in the morning, and I'd be in the garage taping up boxes, putting packages going on the mail. eBay was just out. eBay was just coming out, and it was blowing up. And it was all over the place. So I was like, hey, my mind started clicking. Hey, I can take stuff and sell it. And now in front of millions of viewers, right? This is pretty cool versus me just putting a sign in my yard and hopefully making a sale, And
right.
So eBay came about, and I decided and screen printing. I don't know if you remember screen printing. It's still popular today, but the boom of screen printing came right there. 99, that 2000, that's when screen printing just started coming and just going. So what I started doing is I started ordering containers. There were $2,500 in containers, and that's how much it cost me. Okay, $2,500, 10,000 items, $2,500 back then. That was a lot. Back then for me as a kid, and I was selling one size T-shirt, plain white T-shirts. And I was repackaging them in 500, 100, putting them on eBay and just selling them. And I just became real popular on eBay because I got in there with the boom of the screen printing business. And I sold large. I did not have hundreds of SKU number. Why? The number one selling size is a large. So I'm not going to sit here and have a bunch of inventory and items that's not a mover. Well, they might be movers too, but slower movers than the others. So I decided I wanted to just move one line and one shirt. And that's why I marketed myself as the best large white T-shirt guy on eBay and at the best prices. No other options but a large. I wanted one SKU number. I was trying to keep it simple and let the numbers roll because, the more SKU numbers you have, you have to keep up with. You got one item. It's a lot easier to move one item and numbers. You can actually keep up with the numbers in your head. Oh, I got 3,000 shirts left in my inventory at large. Boom, boom. I Like it's so easy versus, I got 500 extra large. Oh, I think I only have 200 large. It's easy to I know you got to write it down on pen and paper, but I'm a numbers guy. Literally, I remember numbers. I dial your cell phone 2-3 times. It's going to be in my head for the rest of my life. I have people phone numbers that I haven't dialed in 20 years, and I have it in my head, and I can pick up the phone and call. it's just crazy. I don't know, something with numbers. For me, my God gave me that gift with numbers to be able to remember numbers. I don't know what it is, but I was intrigued by numbers when I was a student, and I remember them like I don't know. I just remember them a lot, and it's hard for me to forget, right? So, anyways, that's how that came about, and I started selling T-shirts, and then you remember back in the days, the little small Chinese motorcycle, not little small like this, but where adults were riding the 50cc motorcycles.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Well, I was the first guy in Birmingham. I put them out on the corner of 280 and 231 in the middle of nowhere in Harpersville, Alabama. I used to sit there. I used to build them in my dad's garage. I used to order them online, build them in my dad's garage, and then I'd go out there and set them on the weekend with balloons on, waving people in. Hey, come on, buy a motorcycle. And back then they were like 200, like not even $200. It was $160. And then everybody else started doing it. When everybody else started doing it, my margins became lower and lower and lower, and to the point where I was like, I don't want to do this anymore, and I decided to do something else. And this is still in college, right out of high school, like freshman year. I'm doing this, right? I'm 19 years old, and I'm over here on the side of the interstate. I'm not the side of the interstate, but the side of 280, 231, selling shirts, selling Chinese motorcycles on eBay, selling. I just started. I was like, hey, my mind just started working, and I started doing it. So, anyways, that came about, and after that, I was in college, and I started doing what my friend taught me. Okay, a friend of mine's friend, who was a high school dropout, Crispin. At age 15, I'm not telling anybody don't go to school. I'm not saying
kids stay in school.
School is the number one priority. It makes your mind think. Whether you apply, what I'm saying? It makes you apply. It makes you think outside the box. Let me make it simple. It makes you think outside the box, right? So, what happened was a friend of mine who was also a high school dropout at age 16, who was taught by a high school dropout, who was at the time when I met the guy and we started learning about Section 8 government housing. I was literally 20 years old. I bought my first house for $5,200. I remember I painted it myself. I painted it myself.
Where was it?
I did all that stuff by myself as a kid, a 20-year-old kid. I started buying homes in Section 8 areas, and back then you could buy them for $5,000-$6,000. And I bought my first one because the buddy that was a high school dropout, who was taught by a high school dropout at age 29, was making $70,000 a month, passive income, sleeping in bed. So now that man is like, I think right at 50, and he's making like 180, 190,000 a month, just doing nothing. So doing nothing, like literally just buying real estate, adding on to his Section 8 portfolio. So I started in the Section 8 business, and that's when I came up, because I got in the Section 8 business in 2000, and the real estates were, was at a climb, 2000 to 2005, 6, 7, 8. It was on a climb. Then it just boom, flat. It just flatlined in 708, and then went rock bottom in 2010. So I felt the wave coming. I was scared. I had 27 rental Section 8 houses at the time. It was 2005. I was just graduating college. Jubilee Joe's about to break grounds. No, it had already broke grounds. Oh, my bad. I broke grounds in November of 2004, opened my doors in April of 2005. And so while that was happening, I was spending a lot of money in there, and I was stressing. And I was like, I don't know if I can keep up with all this real estate and do this restaurant, because I was told that a restaurant's like a baby that never comes out of its diapers. And that's so true.
Really?
So true. He changes diapers till to this day. We are changing his diapers. So that's just how a restaurant is, and so what happened is I ended up selling all my real estate, and sold all 27 rental houses. I literally paid for one, and then all the rest of them came below it. When I say below it, you hold a year's worth of portfolio. You show the bank you don't need any of that money. You let that bank portfolio money sit in that bank, so it shows a beautiful portfolio for you to go to the bank and say, "Hey, I need to borrow against this house.
Mm-hmm.
This is what I make out of it every month." Or
Right.
we're going to let you borrow this month because we know you can afford a mortgage payment of this much. So by looking at my portfolio, my monthly statements, they can know how much is coming in, how much is going out, how much is left over. And so they could give me money towards my house. Like, hey, you might only had 15,000 in it. It's worth 45, 50 now because you fixed it up and it's renting. It has the value to it. So they would give me money, and I would take that money, 30, 40,000, whatever they give me, and I would go buy another house underneath the first house. So I was told to buy my very first house with cash.
Mm-hmm. For 5,200.
Yep. So what did you say about 200?
I say it was 5,200. The first house you bought.
First house I ever bought was $5,200, and so I had 15 in it. I spent about 10 grand fixing it to be able, because you have to meet certain qualifications in order for you to get to an approval by the compliance department. So I have to meet compliance or I'm not getting in the program. So I fixed it up, 15 grand. I waited a year, just like the buddy that told me. Wait a year, show the portfolio, borrow against that portfolio after a year. And sure enough, I borrowed against it. And I bought two houses underneath it because I got my first house that I had 15 grand in, they let me borrow $41,000 on it against it. So with those $41,000, I built two more houses. So I got my first house, and underneath it, I put two more underneath it, okay? And then that's how you work it. And then year two, you wait for that one, and then you put two more underneath it.
So now you have four.
And you just spread, you become a big triangle. Okay? That's how I was taught. The buddy that's retired at still retired, making 180 grand a month. He's got over 400 rental houses, right? 400 Section 8 houses. And all he does is just buy inventory now. He doesn't even care how much it is. It's just added on to his portfolio. He doesn't
add to the portfolio, right?
Bigger to the bottom number, right?
Right.
So that's how I came up, let's just say. I sold all 27 houses and had no more than 18 grand. I would say 16 to 18 grand average in per home. And I sold every house in 2005 when the market was super hot. I sold everything average of 48 grand a house. Yeah, and I had no more. So I cleared almost 30 to 32,000 per home, times 27 at that age, right when I graduated college. And I opened the Jubilee Joe's because I won the $250,000 grant. Me and my group. There was a partner of mine. I ended up buying him out within a year and a half. So I ended up buying him out and started just staying in the restaurant. And I milked and I worked and I lived there. I used to sleep on the benches sometimes. I mean, I was fresh out of college. I was 22. I didn't know. I have nobody. I wasn't married. I had no girlfriend. I was like, even if I did, I didn't care. I was like, I'm making money. This is my thing.
Yes.
So I just worked the restaurant and I ran it. First one in, last one out for the first 16 years. We just celebrated my 20-year anniversary. Whoop, whoop. Just celebrated 20-year anniversary. So went through some trials and tribulations. It wasn't easy. We had opened the doors and Hurricane Katrina hit within a year. It destroyed my business, about put me out of business. Got out of that hole, and then the economy decided it wanted to crash. In 2008, economy crashed, went rock bottom. They decided to make Highway 150, where my restaurant, the old restaurant is, 2-lane to 5-lane highway, and that construction held my business down for lunch. We couldn't get it in and out anymore because they were directing traffic. That hurt my business, got out of that hole. Then guess what? My biggest fear that ever came in front of me was the BP oil spill. I don't know if you remember the BP oil spill in Louisiana. That messed up all the seafood industry, hurt everybody. We were getting gouged on pricing because we couldn't buy anything from Texas to Destin. Everything had to be west of that or east of that. So everybody did what to us?
Yeah.
Right. Mississippi, Tennessee, Georgia, Alabama, Louisiana. We were stressing over not having the capability of seafood from right down the street, so we had to buy from out, and it was tough. It was a 542,000 loss in sales in a 8-month period. I'm still waiting on my check from BP. We're still hey,
if you see this video, he wants his check. Okay.
Yeah. At this point, it's icing on the cake. You know what I mean? I'm gonna blow it when I get it. It's icing on the cake now, so I'm excited about that whenever it comes. But who cares? If it does, it does. It doesn't. It doesn't matter. But it's not. It's on the final. It's in its final straw. So the last judge says no. Guess what? I'm out of luck. But if she says yes, I'm gonna be clicking heels and running all over New Orleans.
Right. Yeah. So what kept you motivated to pivot during those times when, of course, prices are skyrocketing? And I know you said you've gone through other things that kind of affected the business. So kind of
COVID
motivated.
COVID, baby. COVID killed us. I mean, that was like we went from a sweet run from 11 to 20, and then COVID came and slapped us in the face. I mean, that was but you have to pivot, right? It's they told me I could still serve food. I knew that. They told me I could not have anybody walk inside my restaurant. Okay, I can save money without air conditioning running, lights on, bathroom flushing, beer coolers cooling. And all them expenses just went away. I can still operate the doors. But are we going to generate enough sales? We're not a sit down. I don't know. But everybody was stuck at home. So it worked out in my benefit. Believe it or not, Crispin, 2020 was the best year I've ever had. COVID, we loved COVID. At first, COVID. Loved it. We wish we could have it back. Just the money I made. It was ridiculous. It was I don't want it back. I'm just
right, but just
I want the numbers.
Revenue that you were getting. So I guess people are at home, we're working from home, people are ordering food on these apps, they're in and out. So I totally get it. No one wants to go grocery shopping. So
heck, I was out there delivering food for free within a 3-mile radius. I'd be driving a Jubilee Joe's van. Hey, bring your food for free, because I was like, I'm trying to survive. I wasn't expecting COVID, and I wasn't expecting this, and we don't know how long this is going to happen. But you know what? I was blessed by God, and believe it or not, it was the best year we ever had. Why? We ran the company instead of 18 employees, I ran it with 6.
Wow.
And from 2019 to 2020, our sales increased like 12, 13% throughout COVID. So we were running 6 employees, no power, basically running, no AC, none of that, all that minimized, 6 employees on the payroll, and I increased my sales from the year prior 12 to 13% because we pivoted and we just made everything seamless. We went from being a full service restaurant to Chick-fil-A overnight. Okay. We had no choice, but we had to do what we had to do or we were going to drown, so.
Yeah. I mean, you have to do what you have to do. And I love that. So what's some advice you would give upcoming restaurant owner, someone that has the
don't give up. If that's what you want, don't give up. I mean, when I opened the doors within a year, I did forget about me and my partner's battle, and I ended up buying him out. I mean, that was not the greatest situation. And
how many partners did you have? So how many did you start?
Joe. There was a Joe and I, and then there was 5 group members, right? But all 5 of them came. Only 2 of us became the owners. Joe and I became owner, and the other 3 helped. One was a bar manager, one was a kitchen manager, and one was the general manager. And then I was in the kitchen, the busboy, the dishwasher, you name it. Whatever needed me. I have no experience.
You have to know how to run it.
So 0 days of experience, girl. Never have I worked a day in my life in a restaurant. Never waited tables. Never knew how to cook. I just opened a restaurant with 0. Everybody's like, you're crazy. It takes 20 years of experience before you even think about opening a restaurant. I said, well, I got given $250,000 for free, and not for free, but working my butt off, and I don't have to pay it back if I fail. So I just ran with it. We have trials and tribulations. Like I said, oil spill, economy crashing, partner defaulting, Katrina, COVID. But COVID at this point, I done been through so many trials and tribulations. COVID was like, okay, I just changed the formula. It's like, they didn't tell me I got to close my doors. They just said, you got to move food in a different fashion. So
Yeah.
overnight, we just changed. We did our online system overnight overhaul to make it seamless, contactless, all that. We had no
Mhm.
choice to survive. You had to jump. And me and my chef, we looked at each other and said, hey, it's just logistics.
Right.
We can run this madness. It's logistics. Let's go. We were there at 3 a.m. We opened our doors at 11. 3 a.m. Me and my chef came in there, rearranged the entire kitchen, rearranged the flow. Hey, how are we gonna do this? How are we gonna do this? All right, what are we gonna do? All right, let's move this around, move kitchen equipment around, tables, all the setup to make it seamless and move that food out fast, hoping and praying to survive. And we did the same amount of business on a Friday, like doing 500 covers in to-go bags. Like, it was the best feeling in the world. I was so thankful that we were in that situation and we were able to benefit from that situation. And
Yeah.
all my fans, I mean, I got 80% of my business is regulars. You're in there once, you're coming in there over and over again. And so 80% being my regulars, they all supported me. They knew I was a young kid from the neighborhood, and it was my, they knew all my stories. So they didn't want me to fail. I provided pretty decent food. I feel like I'm an okay guy to, know and be around, and the customers like me. So it was nice. The community, accepted me. I accepted the community, and that's why we do this big events to this time. We do the big
Mhm.
charity fundraisers. The Crawfish Fest. You came right behind the Crawfish Fest. We raise money for the two children every year for Destination Hoover International. From one kid from Hoover High School, one from Spain Park. Typically, they win a scholarship for the summer for if they're in international studies. We do the fundraising at Jubilee Joe's for that week of a Crawfish Fest every year. So yeah.
I love that. And
Yeah.
I love how you're staying active in the community and really getting your name out there. I'm originally from Mississippi. So honestly, when I got invited to the menu tasting, that was my very first time coming to Jubilee
Yeah.
Joe. And I was telling my videographer, I was meeting with him earlier in the day. We were shooting some content. I was like, hey, after this, I'm going to a menu tasting at Jubilee Joe's. Have you been? He was like, oh, I love that place.
Yeah, baby.
I like that better than Papa Dogs. I was like, stop. I was like, better than Papa Dogs. He was like, yeah, he was like, I love it. So
And we're not a chain. We're not a franchise. I'm not corporate. Local kid from right here from Birmingham, right here from UAB. I'm it's my brand. I created my brand. It's my, it's my
yeah. So the name, I know you said your partner's name was Joe, so I'm assuming that's how the name Jubilee Joe.
So that's how the name Jubilee Joe's came. So you're gonna laugh. Everyone's gonna laugh. But the school project name was not Jubilee Joe's, guys. It was the Bearded Clam.
The bearded clam.
The Bearded Clam. If I drew it out, you'd be like, "What? Oh, that's so bad." And so we won it. And when we decided to do a family restaurant, Cajun Steamer similarities,
Yeah.
of the brand that we were originally going to create. They're similar. The Cajun Steamer brand is similar to the thought process that I had when I wrote my project. But when we decided to change the name to Jubilee Joe's and make it a full family local restaurant, because we wanted to, you remember the TV show Cheers?
Yeah.
So it was based off of Cheers. It was everybody knows your name. You're a neighborhood community,
Yeah.
neighborhood restaurant. I knew 9 out of 10 people walked in the door. I knew knew them by their first name, last name. They knew me by my first name. So I knew all the kids. It was pretty neat. I've seen kids being babies, coming in, having kids, and now having babies. It's like, and I'm like, I'm not even that old.
Right.
But I'm feeling that way, being in the community for so long. I feel that way because they're making me feel that way today. But it's all good, I love the community. I really enjoy it. So why Jubilee Joe's came about, my original partner name was Joseph Steiner. Joe and his family's business was Jubilee Foods out of Bayou La Battery, which is sold out. I think they sold out 3 years ago to a company called Fortune Gulf and Fortune Foods. And they're out of Europe, but they're really big in the US. They basically bought up other distributors and made a big company out of it. And so they bought up Jubilee Foods, and Jubilee Foods is no longer around. They got it's Fortune Gulf now. But yeah, so Jubilee Foods out of Bayou La Battery, Alabama, and my partner Joe. So Jubilee Joe's. And it was his grandfather's business. I have nothing to do with seafood. Me and him were just partners in the project. And decided to be business owners together. And we did the project specifically because he had all the knowledge of the seafood side.
Right.
Well, and he was 4 years older than me, so he had a little bit of extra restaurant experience. So, but it just didn't work out. I was not supposed to be sitting here talking to you. I was not supposed to be the face. I was not. I just became the face of the business because of, just what happened. And life goes on. You just got to keep going. It was either I shut the doors down after me and him fell apart. We either shut the doors down and call it a day or keep
business going as usual. Yeah, I'm a believer in just keep moving forward.
That's what I tell you. Like you asked me earlier, what are my thoughts? Hey, those are don't give up. You want something, go get it.
Yeah.
Get it. If you want it that bad, go get it. Don't be scared of it. I try to explain people. I'm gonna tell you, you're a grown adult, but I try to tell young people and grown adults this situation. It makes sense, but more young adults, I try to tell them, life is like a ride. Okay, you're driving your car every day. What are you avoiding? Speed bumps, potholes, other drivers. Right? Life is a dodge of a drive. Like you're driving every day. So life is full of speed bumps. Life is full of hurdles. Life is full of potholes. Okay. You find a pothole, you do what? Go around it.
Or you shoot it straight on and you fix it later.
No. If you got a speed bump, what do? Drop a gear, climb that speed bump, and then jump that gear back and keep on rocking, baby. That's what we do. That's just life. It's full of it. So I try to tell people, look at life like you're in the back and behind the driver's seat and everything you have to challenge from getting from A to B, all the bad drivers, the potholes, the speed bumps. That's life. Work around them. Learn the work. You want to drive every day? Well, guess what? Get used to having those variables in your face every day and learn how to manage to get around them. Or you're going to hit a pothole with a flat tire, or you're going to hit a speed bump too hard and you're going to rock bottom your car. Okay? It's going to happen. So pay attention and stay positive. I mean, people get negative. That's what makes me upset. Like, when things happen, they just take that negativeness and they're not optimistic. You just got to be optimistic. If there's a will, there's a way. Okay. If you just got to want it. You want to. If you don't want it, you ain't getting nothing.
You don't get it. You have to believe that you are capable and you are deserving of actually having that. And that's
absolutely
flow.
And you do what it takes, Crispin. You do what it takes.
Yes. You don't make a plan B. You stick with plan A if make it work. Yeah. And I know a lot of people want to get into entrepreneurship, but they're scared about failing or they're scared of people seeing them fail. But what do you have to say to that young entrepreneur?
There's a possibility you're going to fail. It's a possibility. It's a 50-50 chance. But like I said, if you're determined and dedicated, you're going to find a way to not fail. Okay. I tell people, like in restaurant business, a lot of people, they go out of business sometimes, it's a tough business, a 90% failure, right? 10% of us make it. And it's very tough. And there are lots of challenges. I mean, imagine how many hundreds and thousands of people a week we have to satisfy to stay in business. A lot. I mean, our head count's almost like 8,000 a month. And that's how many people, that's how many times my front door is being opened, at least 8,000 times a month. Right? So that's a lot of people I got to please. And you got to be consistent. That's the number one key in the restaurant business, consistency. If you can't have consistency in your service and your quality of food, it's not going to work. It's going to be tough. Why? Crispin, what's your favorite meal as a kid? Something.
As a kid, I would say
from a restaurant.
From a restaurant.
You'll eat today. You eat that same. What is it?
Any type of like fried catfish.
Okay. All right. A specific restaurant. Is there a specific restaurant that you like that you get the fried catfish at?
Honestly, Papa does.
Okay, that's good. That's okay. You're not hurting my feelings, girl.
Hey, we're not promoting
You
Papa
just
does.
met
We're
me,
promoting
baby. You
Jubilee
just met me.
Joe. Right.
You just
Just
been there. You
scenario.
just got there. We ain't even went through that whole menu. Wait till you go through that whole menu.
I had, and it's so much on here. I've been scrolling through. I was like, oh, I have to try this. I have to try that. I have to try it.
So this how it is. So you like that catfish that Papa does, fine, and it tastes a certain way. The bite, the flavor that goes through your mind, the remembrance, the last time you had it, and it tastes the same this time. You went back for that experience. You went back for that flavor to hit your palate and make your memory remind you of how much you love that catfish there, right? Or in the first time, or my boyfriend, or whatever the scenario was, you remember the positiveness from that bite, from that memory hitting your head, from the flavor. So I mean, for me, McDonald's fries, right? That's that for me. I mean, of course, I don't eat them as much anymore, but as a kid, even every once in a while, I do have to eat McDonald's fries because I have 3 little boys, and and they want McDonald's sometimes. Chick-fil-A more, but they want McDonald's sometimes.
Yeah.
So I've been eating McDonald's fries since a kid, since I moved to the United States in 1990. I've been eating French fries from McDonald's. It still tastes the same at every McDonald's you go to, but it's that you remember, if that one fry is off, you're like, it is something. So I noticed first time I had this experience, Hawaii. I ate McDonald's in Hawaii. They use coconut oil to cook over in Hawaii. So it changes the whole flavor of the fry. And I was like, wait, there's something wrong with this. I was like, no way. I know what this is supposed to taste like. I've eaten McDonald's thousands of times. They're like, sir, it's the same. Like, no, it's not. Y'all changed.
No, it's not. Something's different.
They're like, oh, we're in Hawaii. We use coconut oil for our frying oil. I was like, aha, that's it. That's the
guys knew it, right?
So they use the same product, but it was so distinctive that you could remember that it's not the same. So if a customer comes in for that many years, say they love my gumbo, which we've won Birmingham's Best Gumbo Award 4 years in a row in the past, my
gumbo was good.
Yeah, baby. Thank you. And so I have a lot of elderly customers born and raised from Louisiana, 60, 70, 80, 90 years old, been eating gumbo all their life. They're very particular about their gumbo. And they love I have a lot of women that I've stopped that have arthritis, older elderly women, 80s plus, that have arthritis and bad situation. They love eating gumbo, but they can't find any around here. So they're like, they'll order from me because I'm like the closest thing to their standards, right? And so I have to make sure that thing tastes the same, because I promise you, I have made a mistake before and not cooked it correctly. And I've had somebody in that elderly age say, hey, Kash, this is not the same. What did you do different? What did you do different? And I'm like, I don't know. I think I rushed it. They're like, well, I can tell because it's not the same.
It's not the same.
No. And so that's upsetting for me, right? When I hear something like that. So that's the science that you have to create. It's the science of the madness, right?
Yeah.
Restaurants are organized mess, right? There's a method to the madness. That's what I call it. There's a method to the madness, baby. And once you have the formula, that's it. You got to have a formula. If you don't have that formula, you can't make it work. If you stay with the formula and you stay consistent with your formula, whether I'm talking from the time, because restaurant, and that's another thing, Crispin, when you go out on a date or anything like that, you want to have a good experience, right? So restaurant is more than just that food. It's all
right. It's the experience. It's the ambiance. It's the can I get my content? Like I need something to post. So it's not what I felt. I could see how that changes.
So it's all about from the time I walk in that door and the time I leave, from the time I get greeted by the host in the front. Hey, welcome to Jubilee Joe's. No matter, because we as business owners and an establishment, we have to take this in consideration. We don't know what you've been through today, Crispin. You walk in the door. I don't know if you're upset. I don't know if you're happy. You might have lost someone, had an accident. I don't know. At all times, I need to be on top of my, hey, how are you doing? Welcome to Jubilee Joe's. Because you might be coming there to soothe yourself with a good meal because you had a bad day, or you might be coming there to treat yourself with a good meal because you had a good day. Food can be eaten in a sad time and a good time, right? It doesn't. So we have to be prepared to present you your experience, no matter what's going through your head every day. We have to make sure you're greeted correctly, your tables are clean, your drinks are filled. Make sure you've been talked to. And we do a little personal touch in a lot of other restaurants. I mean, my servers will sit down next to you sometimes and take your order. People aren't used to that kind of stuff. People aren't used to servers just joking around. But that's the feel that I want to create with my business. I don't work there. I haven't worked there in almost 4 years, but I need my team to replicate me. The personality that I have, they should have. If you notice, well, you're new to us, but if you're a regular, I retain my employees. Most of my employees have been there. All my servers have been there for 4, 5, 6, 7 years, a long time. Why? Not just great management. I'm not trying to brag on myself. But my general manager is awesome. She replicates me phenomenally, Miss Sharon Rogers. Anyways, they make good money. We have a great clientele, and we have a great establishment to come back to every day. And for that reason, we keep our employees, and we want that Cheers, because that's in my business model. Like Cheers, the same bartender work there every day. They know exactly how you like your drink.
No way. You don't have to tell them
nothing. We don't have to tell them nothing. So my servers are like that too. I have a lot of regulars I want to go see so-and-so and sit with him or sit with her because they had such a great experience, and that bond, they have that bond. And they have that bond. They want to, hey, I want to go back and go see Hope or go see, whoever your favorite server is or bartender is, and go there and chit chat with them. Well, I know that so-and-so is working today. I'm in a great mood. I want to go have a drink and I want to go sit down and chit chat with her. That's what we're here for, to give you the experience. We want to make sure your day's great. You're walking out of there full, happy, wanting to come back. And we just want to make sure your experience is solid. Am I saying we're 100% at all times? I mean, we try, we want to be. There's no, it happens. I mean, when we're bombarded, that's another thing people don't realize, Crispin. When you came that day, we're busy. We don't realize what you see in the front dining hall. That's 62% of my business. There's 38% going out that drive-through back there. So, it's like what we see outside, half that is also going on in the back, going out the back door. So we don't get to see that. We have a drive-through at the new restaurant. At the old restaurant, we didn't have that. You had to walk at the front door and there'd be a line, people waiting. Now you don't even see the to-go orders coming and going because they just pull up at the drive-through. Because when we opened the restaurant, it was during COVID. I added the drive-through for contactless payment.
Wow. And then look how
healthy. And now it's my 38% of my sales.
Wow.
I never expected that. I never ever expected. Because what happened is the mentality, the mindset.
You didn't let that defeat you. You didn't let that get you down like, oh, my business is going to do bad. It's how can I accommodate business?
Yeah. How can I accommodate mindset? Yep. Yeah. How can I pivot and accommodate to the changed mindset? Because a lot of people's mind changed, man. I'm telling you. That's why companies like Shipt worth billions now. Why? People don't want to go out. They don't want contact.
Right.
The line is set for that. And then a lot of elderly people with diabetic, aged folks. There's a lot of that because we're still, all the baby boomers are still around. They're retired. The baby boomers are retired. Well, guess what? Now COVID hit. The baby boomers is like the biggest population of that era, and they're all retired. Well, guess what? They're not going. They're calling it in. They're ordering it. They're getting.
They were scared to get out. They weren't going to risk it. Like they had their mask on.
No, we're not. We're already at the. We got all the negatives against us. We're not going out.
Right. I'm high risk.
No. Exactly. So companies like these delivery companies, these food ordering companies, they all just killed it. Bombed it.
Right.
Bombed it. And they still bombing it because the mentality and also the simplicity, right?
And people pay for convenience. Like
exactly.
people pay for convenience. people don't like to get out and grocery shop. Like, that's the people pay for convenience. People just like to sit down. So about Jubilee Joe, so what's one of the most popular menu items that you see a lot of your customers order the most?
Well, the one that I just won top 100 dishes to try while visiting Alabama by Alabama Tourism,
Ooh,
my
come
stuffed
on.
grouper, girl, my stuffed grouper. It's rosemary thyme marinated overnight.
Mm-hmm.
Apply it. We stuff it with our homemade crab cakes, sear and oven bake it over a bed of mashed potatoes, baby spinach, lump crab meat with a white wine cream sauce over the top with capers and lemon. It's really, really, really delicious.
Yes, I'm gonna have to come try that. I'm gonna put it on my list. I'm gonna make it a point to come there once a month and try the whole menu. I'm gonna start
Yep.
with the one.
You let me know when you coming. I'll drive up there. I'll drive up there. Okay? I'll make sure I come and entertain you and let you know what all to get. All right.
Yeah, show me what to order. And I really enjoyed the desserts. I'm not really like a big dessert person, but the desserts got me. I was like, wow, the key lime pie, that was really, really good. So what is the most ordered dessert?
I would say our bread pudding. I think you might have had a little slice
I
of the bread.
did.
Well, so bread pudding, because it's just a traditional Louisiana thing.
Mm-hmm.
Why I would say we sell more of that than anything. And then our, of course, our key lime pie and our banana pudding. And our banana, we have a cream cheese banana pudding. It's very, very rich. And then our bread pudding is made with Cajun Gambino French bread. So we use really New Orleans French bread for our bread pudding. We don't just use a French bread here. We use a New Orleans traditional Gambino French bread. We take all, when we cut our po' boys, we leave all the ends, and all the ends we mash them and make our bread pudding out of it. You know, we don't waste our bread. So
We don't waste anything.
nope.
I love that.
We try to get every inch out of everything. I mean, we have to. Restaurants work on pennies. Literally, we work on pennies. I mean, an average restaurant in the United States, if you're not there as an owner operator and you got a general manager, a corporation going, all these big franchises and all that, I mean, you're working off of 12%, 13%, take home after it's said and done. So think about it. For every dollar walking in my door, I only get to make 12, 13 cents out by the time it's said and done, So that's your goal, to do volume, different avenues of revenue, big catering, big boils, big course events, the restaurant, the to-go orders. Like, you want to have different avenues of revenue coming in, streamlining your business, because you just never know what's going to happen when. And if you have more than one angle of revenue generating, we even have a wholesale division in my restaurant. I'm a wholesaler for crawfish. I supply Tuscaloosa, Alabama to Nashville, Tennessee, live crawfish.
Wow.
All your bars, restaurants, seafood markets from Tuscaloosa to Nashville. Most all of them buy from me,
Wow.
Yeah, I've had that business for 18 years. And then, like I said, I'm an entrepreneur. I'm not just
you do. You're right. You're a multipreneur. You do.
So that's why I generated a whole nother avenue of revenue out of I created a whole nother district basically inside my business, a business inside my business.
Business within the business.
Yeah. So I did that. And then, of course, you see my clothing I'm wearing. I own a golf apparel business called Mint Lily. I'm a manufacturer of golf clothing. I deal with high-end golf courses.
Mint Lily.
Mint Lily, yeah. I'm not online presence. You're not going to find me.
I know. I was about to look it up right now. I was like, let's pull that.
I don't want online presence, because why? I love playing golf, and this is my thing, to go out there and make a deal and play some golf. And so I don't want to be as busy. I want to be as busy as I want to be. If I approach you, I'm landing a deal. I guess I could say I'm a little bit of a salesman.
I'm not a salesman, but I am a salesman.
And then, of course, you believe it or not, my main business is real estate. So I'm a real estate dude. That's what I do every day. Real estate. I mean, restaurants on its own cruise. Mint Lily, I'm the sales guy, but the beauty of Mint Lily is all my team is asleep while I'm at work. So I'm meeting people, having golf courses, meeting with corporate America, making deals, selling them shirts, and then I'm going to sleep at night. Well, I don't go to sleep at night. I usually go to bed at like 11, 12 o'clock at night because my team in India is waking up. They're 12 hours ahead. So my business is I just finished my day at 5 o'clock in the afternoon with clients. Now I got emails going on. Now I got phone calls going on from 6 p.m. to 11 p.m. at night. Hey, making these shirt orders. Hey, I need this modification. I need that, blah, blah, blah. And so I'm the salesperson for the US. I'm the only guy. I just started this business last year. I'm fun. I'm a golfer, and I just decided, hey, what can I make myself so I can be in the golf course more often? You know what I mean? It's not just spending money, making money too at the same time. Not gambling, but selling shirts. So that's why I started that business, so I could travel the world, go to golf courses, play golf courses all over the world, and sell them shirts. Because my product is.
I love it.
I just signed Jack Nicklaus. I just got the license for the entire country of India for Jack Nicklaus. So my product line, Jack Nicklaus is white label on it. Yeah, 32,000 shirt order we just pushed in just the other day. So I'm truly stoked about that business. My main thing is real estate. I'm a flipper. I'm a holder. I buy and hold. I buy and flip. I mean, I flip, all the time. I've probably flipped over 270 houses since 2012. I'm not a real estate agent. I'm not a realtor. I got my license, but it's sitting inactive. I don't want to use it. I don't need to use it. That means more work for me. I'll pay out 3% and hey, to move the property, let me get off the ice. You can have your 3%. I'm gonna keep on going, get another one.
Right. See, that's the mindsets we like our people to have. But I love that because it seems like everything ties back to real estate. A lot of entrepreneurs have become very successful through real estate. I know I do have a lot of real estate agents here watching. One even commented and said, I lived in New Orleans for a few years, and Jubilee Joe's is the only restaurant that tastes like home.
Yeah, baby. That's what I'm talking about. I love that. I love that. Hey, Amber. Hey. This is awesome. I love it. And so, where were we at just now? I got sidetracked. Where were we?
No, I got sidetracked too, though. But yeah.
But yeah,
the real estate. Yeah, you said like your main thing is real estate.
My main business is real estate. So I rented at my old Jubilee Joe's. For 16 years, I rented, Crispin. And,
wow.
I paid them over $1 million in the 16 years in rent, and then I was like, I gotta move. I gotta be bigger. I'm choking myself. I have more seating on that patio. You came and said I have more seating on that patio than my old restaurant for 16 years.
No way.
Yes, ma'am. I'm triple the size now. I used to be 77 seats. I'm almost 210 now. So almost triple the size of my business, which is also triple the revenue, which is also gave me the flexibility to walk away from it and build a team and be able to afford to pay the team and walk away from it. You know what I mean? So that's been the big blessing. And but yeah, back to real estate. So now the shopping center I'm in, I'm the landlord there. So I own the land. I built my own center, and I'm a tenant, and I'm a tenant to myself.
You're a tenant to yourself.
I make my
business privileges.
I'm like, what can that restaurant afford? All right, well, I'll pay myself rent. As long as I'm not upside down, I'll squeeze every bit of rent out of that business. So, and I do, I get it, and I love it. And then that's my only commercial property. And oh my gosh, she's talking about love what you're doing on Rocky Ridge. That's where my home is and everything. I'm trying to. I'm bought up all my neighbors, literally all my neighbors. I own 14 houses on the same road. And every one of my, I'll buy your house. I bought all of them. So I get to put who I want next to me. So all my neighbors are my tenants across the street, next door to me, all of them.
He's like, all my neighbors are handpicked.
I don't want to be bothered, and I don't want
a luxury, right? You don't have to worry about random people coming and going.
That's right. So that's just that's my thing. I do Airbnbs. I got tons of Airbnbs. Well, I say tons. I got 7. It's enough for me. And then I got about 18 rental houses, regular single family home rental houses. So that's just I'm just trying to build that portfolio up, girl. Like I literally want to try to retire earlier. I just hit 43 the other day. My birthday last week. So
happy birthday.
Thank you. And I just if I get that passive income to a certain number that I'm happy with, I'm not there yet. I'd say I'm close to halfway there. So if I get there, double the amount what I'm doing today on a passive side, not working hard, not the restaurant. I'm talking residual passive
money
income.
you're making in your sleep, right?
Yes, I can go to sleep and be anywhere I want to be.
That pillow money, right?
Pillow, that's what I call it. Maybe that's awesome. I call it pillow money all the time. Right. Pillow money. I sleep at night. I'm making money.
Right.
My thing going. Whoa! I got rent money. And Airbnb, I tell everybody, man, if you can do Airbnb, do it. It's a ticket. It's a ticket. It's the big ticket. That's where you're making big money. I mean, like big money. Like literally. Mm-hmm. I used to have houses in Hoover. I had 3 of them. I was so pissed when they changed the city rules. I used to have 3 houses in Hoover. I probably didn't have more than I was right at 300 each, right under 300 each. So I was bringing home $7,000 a month in revenue from Airbnb, each 21 grand in those 3 houses. But they cut it down. They shut it down. So I sold the houses I got out. That same houses now, whoever bought them, have turned around and rented them long term, and they're renting for $2,200 a month. So I think it's almost a $5,000 more a month that it was generating per home through Airbnb. And the beauty of Airbnb is this is what I do. I got them all over the U.S. I go to places that I want to travel to, right?
Right.
And I'm like, hey, well, I'm going to go to the beach all the time. Whoa, I'm going to go to the lake all the time. Well, I'm going to go to New York.
Get a beach house.
So these cities that I love, like Denver, Chicago, all these places, like you set your Airbnb where you want to go all the time. Every year you're going. So why not put your own piece of real estate, furnish it like you want to, fully furnished, and then rent that thing out the whole time, and then block off the dates. You want to go and travel and stay there for 2 weeks? Well, guess what?
Like we're booked those 2 weeks.
We booked those 2 weeks. So it's huge. Like people don't realize it. It's a vacation home that you're not paying for anymore. Because back in the days before Airbnb came, the only place you could really do that was at the beach, and even then you weren't really making no money because the HOAs and the property managers just raking it to you because they knew you had no options. You wanted a beach house, right. You wanted to reduce your costs a little bit, but they didn't really reduce it much until Airbnb platform came along and threw them out the way, and you could be your own agent, right? And you could get all the money. I mean, Airbnb only takes 3%, Crispin. That's it. 3% of your revenue goes to Airbnb. Everything else is. That's what people don't realize. Everything else is passed through. It's a pass through. You're only paying 3% to Airbnb. Everything else is not collected by you for you. You're getting. Say if you rent it for $500 a night. Well, guess what? You only 3% go to Airbnb. Everything else is yours. Cleaning fees, all that's yours. So I recommend Airbnbs. You want to start it off by somewhere close to you. Mm-hmm. So you can work it, figure the system out, or you can come to my seminars and I can teach you.
Come on, put up the seminars. Where can they find out about the seminar?
I don't do it consecutively. I like randomly, like, hey, I got 3 months of nothing going on. I'm gonna do a seminar. Let's just do it. If I do it at the Hyatt, I try to round up people. I do it for free. I don't even charge people because I don't care. I feel like
let me know so I can send it to my newsletter, my email list.
Yeah, I'll do it the next time. I just had one 7 weeks ago, so I did it at the Sheraton, and but yeah, I'd say about 30 people came out. I marketed within my group and let a few people. Oh yeah, Kash, so and so that's been there knows me. They come. That's what happens. I'm not out there trying to squeeze people out of money. Oh yeah, thousands come at,
right.
$100 a piece, whatever. No,
Sign up here. We'll show you how to make $1 million.
yeah, I'm not trying to tell you to give me money. I'm just trying to show you how to use your own money and make more out of it. You know what? I look at it like this, and that's how I've always looked at it. Like if I show people and show things and help people and put them in the right direction, God's gonna find its way to give me back some.
Bless you.
Right? Yeah, bless me back. So I try to help people as much as I can. I try to give them advice as much as I can. Just because I know I've done it, and I love hearing people, Kash, thank you so much because of you. You helped me understand, and now I'm in this situation because I love hearing the positive sides of it. I mean, that's just me. I'm the type of guy I give my shirt off my back. That's just how I got burnt many times. I get burnt still to this day all the time. But, I don't care.
You don't let it affect you, and that's why
your mom and dad are like, man, that dude just got you. Why you do that? I said, who cares? God give me, and I've been blessed. I've been burnt many times. Yeah.
Well, you're gonna always get it back because you're a good person, and it was just like you give to others, and that's why you're blessed so much. Because a lot of people, you can't receive your blessing if your hands are closed, so you have to give so you can receive yours too. So you dropped some gems tonight, and this has been a great talk. Thank you for coming on, and we will
Thank you for asking me to come. I appreciate it. You tell me anytime you want me to come. I'll be here. I'm flexible, and I can make time. You tell me when you need me to come. I'll be there. So I love it.
You're definitely invited back. We're gonna have a whole real estate talk the next time.
Hey, bring all the real estate agents.
They
might teach me a thing or two, but I might teach them a thing or two. I've just done it hands on, and like I said, I don't just work with one realtor. I have like 10 different realtors I work with because every scenario is different, right? So I'm a firm believer of real estate agents being killers in certain areas, right? Mm-hmm. Who's the big time in this zip code? Who's the big time in this city? Like I like to find out the big players. If I'm investing in a city that I have no clue of, I don't care where it's at. I don't care where it's at. What city, what state, I don't care. I will find the hottest agent in that area, and that's who I'm going to pick up the phone and call. But hey, I need to sell this, or I need to buy this. I will find nothing against rookies, nothing against them, but being around it for so long, I know the mistakes that could be made and are made by rookies. And I'm not saying anything against them. It just they don't have enough. They're just there. They're new. They're going to learn. And over time, they'll learn. And
you want them to have some skin in the game.
Yeah.
So get it. Yeah, we're talking about hundreds of thousands to millions of dollars. So we get it. You're not offending anyone. We have comments on Instagram. Someone said good stuff. So we have people tuned in. I
love it, man. And this is how I am with realtors. Y'all, whoever's listening out there, all you realtors, you bring me something and I buy it through you, I will turn around and sell it through you. And that's how I build my relationship with you. And I'm a cash buyer, as is. I close in overnight if you want me to. So, you know what I'm saying? Like, I got a solid team. I got a solid title company. I mean, I got them on my cell phone. Like, hey, coming in, pull my title right now. Like, boom, done tomorrow. Or I'm a foreclosure guy. I go after foreclosures. I go after people. I go knock on doors all the time. Like, if I'm driving through an area, and I see all a bunch of nice houses, and I see that one that just looks like it's a little undertaken, I already know there's something going on, right? Hey, my name's Kash. Here's my card. Oh, you want to sell the property? Yeah, listen, I'll buy it like it sits. I don't care what you got going on inside that house. I'll buy it like it sits tomorrow. You need to sell it. You know how many houses I've bought just walking up to people's houses and knocking on the door and saying, I'll give you cash tomorrow. I'll sign. Let's do it.
Like, let's do it. I got the paperwork in the car. We can sign it right now. Like,
listen to me. My notary and my documents are sitting in my cars at all time. at all times because you
Stay
never know.
ready.
I'm literally, my mind's always working. I'm driving through a city and area, and I see something like that pop up in my face. I'm knocking on that door.
Yeah.
I'm leaving a card. I'm knocking on the door. I'm talking to people, or hey, not today. Well, tomorrow. You know what I'm saying? And no, she just asked, do I buy in all areas? No, I don't. I don't buy in areas. I buy in areas that move for me. Okay. I'm in the 250 to 450 price point selling point. Okay. 250 to 450 selling point. And I usually work, in the areas. I'm more South Carolina right now. I'm not really Alabama because the Alabama market is kind of little.
He's like, y'all leave me alone in Alabama. I'm not.
Yeah, I'm looking and I'm active in Alabama, but I haven't bought anything in Alabama in a minute because it doesn't make any sense. And if you got time, I can tell you real quick what I'm doing in South Carolina for as real estate goes. So, real estate has a change a few years, last year, 2 years, right? Crispin, and here we are back talking about the baby boomers. You're going to be like, why the hell is he talking about baby boomers again? I'm going to tell you about the baby boomers. Well, that's the highest population. They're in their retirement era. What happened to our country 25 years ago that made the country jump up and sign up and become more to stand up for this country? A lot of people joined the forces. Remember 9/11, 2001? So that's what we're going to talk about. 9/11, 2001 came about, and we had a huge influx of people joining the forces. So just like the baby boomer with the highest influx of birth rate at the time, the highest rate of intake in the military was 9/11 was the last time we had a huge spike of people standing up for the country, and going after it and going after to protect this country. So where are we at today? We're at the 25-year mark. We're at the full pension retirement mark for the military. And it's the highest abundance of people retiring because they're at the max out. Military maxes out at 25 years. 20 to 25 years is the max out.
Right.
So your pension rate stops at 25. It doesn't really climb much more. So me knowing there's 87% of the military is what you call standard cadets. Okay. They're not stripes. They're not gold. They're not lieutenants. They're not sergeants. They're not any of that. So 13% of the military is elite. 87% is the standard. So you're about to be like, what? I'm going to stay in the real estate game. I have to make it work for me. If it's not in my favor, I got to figure out how to make it in my favor.
Yeah.
You have to pivot. So a few years ago, I jumped into South Carolina, Columbia, South Carolina. Why Columbia, South Carolina? It's the second largest military base in the United States. Fort Jackson, 30-mile radius. So when you retire from the military, the VA is paying for your loan. Okay. Your closing costs, your down payment, your mortgage payment is coming out of your pension check that you're paying, right? All of it's being paid. So the mentality, I'm going back to mentality. So the military mentality is I get to get out. They're paying for my house. I get to live for free, blah, blah, blah. That's the mentality because that's just the reality of it, right? So with this abundance of people retiring, there's a huge need for homes. By where? The reserve base. And Fort Jackson being the second largest, they have 3,000 plus acres to expand into. They're right here. They got plenty of room to expand. So the more people that retire and they want to add money to their pockets, they go back. Some people are military folk. They don't want to stay out of the military. They'll go find something to do within the military. Most of them will go to a reserve base, work 2-3 days a month. They don't even want to make extra money because they make enough money and they're happy, right? And they're tired. They've been in the military. They're tired. And so I understand. And so they'll go work at a reserve base a couple of days a month and make that extra money. So I know the 87% average monthly pension number. Okay. That's a 1,300 to 1,700. That's average. I know that number. So I'm going to Fort Jackson. I'm going 30 miles radius. 225, 275 price point. Why? That mortgage payment sits in 1,300, 1,700. So now I'm buying up homes, freshening them up all the way through. I'm not gutting them. I'm just facelifting them. new windows, new fixtures, new bathrooms, new toilets, new sink, new
Modernizing it, right?
cabinets, new floors. Freshen the new roof if I have to. Freshen them up. In Columbia, South Carolina, you can run a 225, 275 price point with a 30-mile radius. It's not a bad area. It's just the numbers that run over there. That's
Right.
just the area, right? So with that being said, I just dialed in on that. I'm like, I split my houses. I literally, to this day, Crispin, I have highest and best offers on every single piece of property I sell inside.
Every single one.
The highest and best offer.
How long are they staying on the market?
I set them at that number. I know where it takes. 90% of my loans are not conventional. They're VA loans over there. And I know so with me knowing all those variables, that's the direction
you're going where the money is, right?
And when I tell you, girl, I put a house, I can't keep inventory. I got houses being sold before they even hit the market. I'm like,
they're stopping by there like, hey, I want to buy
this. I'm like, I don't care about what you got to say. Put it on paper. Send it to my real estate agent. I don't care. You can woo all you want. I don't care to hear any of that. Put it on paper.
Put it on the contract.
You know what I'm saying? I don't want to hear that. Oh, you love it. You know how people are. You're in real estate.
Make it official. Right. If it's not on paper.
I don't have time to waste, Crispin. I don't waste time. I ain't got time to waste. You want to talk about money? Put that on that paper and send it over and let me look at it. And I best believe you sit here with this. I don't want this. You need. Well, guess what? It ain't gonna happen because I got 10 offers sitting there behind you. Because why? I always make sure I have enough room to make that sale. I always sell my house the listing point because I know better. I sell the listing point literally like 3% to 5% right below its true value. So I'm more attractive. Okay. When I'm more attractive, I got more eyes on the scene. When I got more eyes on the scene, I got more people biting on that scene. So more people are like, well, because they think, he's already selling it for below. I'm willing to pay another 10, 15 grand more. Me, I don't care if you pay me 10, 15 grand more. The selling price, I'm still clearing at least. I will not do a project for less than 13% return on my hands. 20 used to be the number in the past. Well, that's all gone. We don't have those 20, 25% returns anymore. They're gone. That happened up until 22. Oh, yeah. 22, we ran them like that. 20, 23% all day. Now we're running 11 to 13%, which is fine. It's better than what an average investor is looking for, 8%. So I try to tell realtors, like, there's many ways. There's many ways to skin a cat, right?
Yeah.
There's more than one way. So
more than one way.
Real estate business, I'm going to stay in it. So I have to find a way to chop at it. When something's not working my direction, I got to find a way to get around it. You got to do what? Get around the speed bumps, get around the potholes. Back to that. Back to where I started. That's my mindset. Life is a dream. You're driving your dream.
And just keep going. I love that.
Yeah.
You dropped some gems. Someone on Instagram said gems. Yes, you dropped a lot of free knowledge. So if you guys tuned in late, the replay will be up tonight on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Google Play. Is there anything else you would like to say before we get out of here? Or how can people connect with you?
They want to connect with me. They can reach me.
Go to Jubilee Joe's. You might run into him.
Yeah, you come to Jubilee Joe's, you might run into me.
You might run into him.
But if you want to get a hold of me, if you really want to talk, like, I don't give out my number just because I just don't. But I will call you if you email me.
There you go.
So Kash, Kash, at JubileeJoes.com. Kash at JubileeJoes.com. That's it. Email me. I get that directly on my cell phone. I will reach out. Make sure you tell me who you are. Give me your cell phone number. I'm not a big email person. I rather pick up. I'm an old school guy. I like to pick up the phone.
Talk on the phone, right?
So I just email me. Make sure you leave your contact info of your cell phone because I'll be calling you. I'm not going to be emailing you. I only email if I have to. You know what I mean? That's just me.
Yes. So y'all heard him. Hey, if you come across any deals, he's currently interested in investing in the South Carolina area. But are you open to any other states? Because I
Yeah,
know
I mean, right now I'll work Alabama as long as it makes sense in like Hoover, Vestavia, Homewood. I don't.
in other words, don't send him anything in Inslee and all over there. He's not interested in those areas. He said
80.
400 sales price.
I was gonna say in an area that makes at least 85K a household income and up. That's where I'll look at. I'll look at least 85, 90K household income plus.
Yeah. You have that target audience. Did you always start there, or did you just kind of work your way up? Like when you first started investing, were you like?
I started Section 8 with $400 a month houses. No.
So yeah, for those that joined late, so honest, I loved every single part of this interview. I'm so inspired. I know you inspired some listeners out there. So
I hope so. I hope y'all learned a thing or two. I mean, maybe you already knew a lot of that stuff, but hopefully you did. If not, I just love to be able to preach it because I tell everybody, guys, put your money in real estate. I'm gonna end it by telling you this. You can put your money in the real. This how I explain it. I mean, not saying the stock market's not great. It works. But you gotta sit at it and picker at it, and you gotta put a lot of money in it. And say you have $1 million in the stock market, and it crashes like it has been, and you lose all your money in the stock market overnight. I mean, like you never. I mean, look what happened to my dad in 2010. Whenever all that crashed, he lost 90% of his 401k. I was like, what? All his life he worked, gave it. Yeah, when the economy crashed, a lot of people lost their money to nothing because our real estate valuations were so low. It was really upside down. And so I always say this to people. This is my theme, my motto. I say, if you put $1 million in the real estate market crashes, who cares? You're not there to sell that house. You're holding it.
You're holding it.
Who cares? So what? You're still making that same monthly payment and the rent. It didn't change. Just because the market crashed didn't mean your rent rate dropped. And they signed a deal for whatever rate it was. Well, they're still paying that rate. Okay? That ain't going down. Real estate market crash. It's going to do this. It's going to come back.
No way.
Ride the wave, baby. Just don't drown. Keep that thing rented. And rock it. You know what I'm saying? Keep it rented because it's appreciating. The value is appreciating as well. If you look at the statistics of real estate, in the last 50 years, Crispin, we've had 47 positive years. No, 43 positive years out of 50 years, 7 years of deficit. Okay. So what does that tell you? We've had an average increase of appreciation of 3 to 5%. Okay. It's been an average in the last 50 years. And there's some years that we hit 10 to 20%. Like COVID, we hit the 19% increase in values. I mean, look what happened right around COVID. It just, bam, overnight, just houses went up like ridiculous, hundreds of thousands of dollars. It's crazy. So stock market will work too. I ain't gonna lie. 30 years. Don't touch it and whatever. And keep putting money in it every month. It's fine. Do that if you want. Real estate. I buy real estate. I hold real estate. It's going up in value and you're getting paid on it. So if I bought something for $100,000 a day, to throw a number out there, and I held it for 30 years, well, guess what? I still made $1,500 a month for 30 years. Okay? And the house 30 years from now, that $100,000 valuation is almost $400,000 or more.
Right.
You just quadruple, like 5-6 times the money in your pocket. You made money the entire time.
Right. No matter what the market was doing up and down.
No, who cares? Who cares what the market's doing? Doesn't matter. You have to manipulate it to work for you. You just have to have that mindset. So
yes. And that's a motivation to the agents out there too, because I got into real estate during COVID. So it was booming. I was like, oh, I can do this. And then, it kind of started. I was like, okay, I really have to work this thing. I have to figure out what works for me. So I kind of do marketing, social media, doing all of that. So Stay at it. Hey.
Stay at it. I mean, there's a lot of realtors that tapped out because there's no more highest and best offers. Oh my God, people are asking
really have to work, right?
Oh my God, they're asking me to give them a few $1,000s. Oh my God, they're asking for closing costs. That's reality. It's always been like that. You know, if you joined the game during the prime hike where everybody was taking money and now it's hard again, you come to realize it's a lot harder than it should. That's why there's people that have been in the game for 20, 30, 40 years and they're still there. And then there's a lot of people that have been in the game like you have in the last few years and then they've already stepped out of the game.
Yeah.
Because it ain't in their favor. It's too difficult. Oh my God. I got to negotiate this many. Girl.
You got to keep the faith. You have to keep faith in reality. Yeah, like someone commented and said consistency is key in anything that you do.
You do.
Anything in life, working out, thinking positive, like you have to be consistent.
That's right.
So this has been amazing.
Thank you, Amber.
Appreciate you. So yeah, if you guys want to get in contact with Kash, contact him at kash@jubileejoes.com. That's Kash with a K for the listeners.
That's right.
And the replay will.
And it's Crispin with a K.
It's Crispin with a K, Kristen with a P. A lot of people say Kristen, and it's crazy. People will ask me, "Are you sure it's not Kristen?" I was like, "I'm very sure what my name is." But hey, I love it though. Well, thank you so much, Kash. This has been amazing.
Thank you, Kristen. Thank you so much for having me on your podcast.